Hey, this is Elliot Wave Sage. I want to do a quick market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. So the market continues to push higher, which is expected. So from a Fibonacci standpoint, the market, the Dow Jones could still hit 38, 39,000, like I have highlighted here. So don't be surprised if you continue to see this melt up as this wave 5 could extend. The other alternative is the C wave extends, but not before a pretty healthy pullback, only to find support later, where you get this 1, 2, and then finish up with a 3, 4, 5, something like this in early 24. So this is the pullback that everyone seems to trying to time, which is kind of silly right now. Trying to do that, time the short. I do not recommend short in this market. I will not even entertain a short until we're in this colored area up here. Until then, it's really just a buy the dip market that we should just keep grinding higher. And this is just the nature of the wave that we're in. So that's the setup. So that's the setup. We have an impulse off the low. So when this impulse does end, and it looks like to me we're getting close with the divergence that we are in some type of fifth wave. When this does end, this wave, it could be the top in B. It very well could be the top, and we truncate, and then that's it. So you can't, you've got to be careful to in terms of what your trade-in plan. I do believe there's going to be a trade coming on this pullback when this cycle does end here, to buy the dip to try to play the final pump later. But you definitely want to have a stop loss on this too, because it could easily fool market participants where we're actually in B and we just keep going down, especially if we're below on the SPY and we fall below this 453 area. So that's what I'd be looking for. So if I was trading this, the SPY should be ending this impulse any moment. And again, it could easily extend with a back test at 153 and then out, and we could hit the 520, 525 area for B. This is a very easy setup, simple setup to finish this thing off, but it's not guaranteed. Because we do have an impulse, we will, when this does end, this fifth wave does end, we get a pullback, and this is the back test area. Now, if we fail this back test, then the evidence starts to show that the B is in, because I believe it could quickly unravel as we now had a false breakout, and then support turns to resistance, and we could easily see a massive impulse down for the first wave down in B and wave one. So this is an important level that has to hold, this back test here, this back test. And if you're wondering, well, what is this back test? It's the back test of this cup and handle, essentially. It has to hold, and it will be back tested at some point. I do believe this will be back tested, and this is your gamble. This will be a great long trade, but with a defined stop loss at 453 when this pullback happens. The other alternative is if the market continues to extend again, and then this becomes a 1-2, 1-2, and we actually still extend in 3 and erase the divergence, which it can easily do, but it would take a lot of bullishness to do that, even more than we've seen, which seems hard to believe. That's why I do think we are in some type of fifth wave. It just seems likely. Some of the signs you would look for on this type of run-up are the most bullish people becoming bearish, and you're starting to see that now. The Uber bulls are starting to sell the market. The Kramers, CNBC's paraded out more bears on TV than I normally see. This is typical. That before, I always tell you my story in Volmageddon in 2018, and let's go rewind history, because I did trade that, and it was an amazing run up. Oh, was it? And it was probably even stronger than we're in now. This was just amazing. I mean, printing money. But I would say right around this time period, somewhere around here, we had all the bullish people start flipping bearish and going on the sidelines, and you know who they are. You follow them. But all the day traders, you know, have been bullish all the way through up here. Buy the dip, buy the dip. Oh my God, Tesla, you know, Google go long. It's going to break out. All this stuff was happening here. But what happened here was those guys, those internet traders, the guys that you may be paying a monthly fee to go in their chat rooms or whatever, they actually said, okay, this shit's getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. We can't. I'm going to actually buy some puts now. When you start hearing those traders tell you to buy puts, we are at the verge of Armageddon, on the verge of something like this. Until then, I still think the market will grind higher in wave 5, and we're somewhere in this area that I have circled here. I do believe those traders will eventually get out somewhere around here, and the dumb money will buy right there. And so this is where we are. So we are in kind of this blow off phase of this pump. And what I want to say is look for those sentiment indicators. So you know who you follow on the internet. You know if you're a paid subscriber. I'm not going to name their names, but they're uber bulls. They just constantly tell you to buy the dip of every freaking big tech stock there is, and that's all they do. That's their trading strategy. Just buy the dip, buy calls, buy calls. They don't say anything else. When the first time they tell you to buy puts, and it will happen, I promise you, then you know you're about to have a significant volatility event. Significant. That's the warning sign, but we're not there yet. They're still saying buy calls, but I'll tell you, there are a lot of people that are moving to the sidelines and buying and selling, or sellers now, but not enough to say that this rally's over. So I do think this fifth wave extends for a little bit longer, perhaps through the end of the year, and then maybe the early first week of 2024, boom, we get this sell off. And again, I don't know, it could be B, but I do think we got this back test coming, and then the market's going to have a major decision, and you'll have a major decision to decide of what you want to do, and that's why you have to do what's best for you. Elliott Wave Sage cannot tell you whether to short, and because yes, if this is B, this could be a short of a lifetime. If it's not B, then you're going to get blown up. And the better opportunity to short will be up in this area if we get there. So personally, my trading strategy will be looking to buy things with calculated risk on this pullback. If the pullback never comes, so be it. I'll look for other setups. There's always an opportunity in this market if you look hard enough. This is where we are now. So as long as we have these divergences playing out on the 4-hour, the 45-minute, this is a wave 5. And it should end. And if it ends, that's the pullback. And that will be the test, the first test, to see if B's in, or are we going to extend. All the indices look to be in this wave 5 to me. All of them. I can just keep going and keep clicking. I would ignore that, of course. And so this is the count that we're in. And again, you're just going to have to decide when we get this pullback if it's just a wave 2 against this full cycle for a 3, a melt up wave 3, and we'll make January, we'll make December look like child's play on the upside, or it's going to be B and everyone's going to be full. There'll be a massive rug pull, and the first sign will be a break. I think the clearest sign that B is in is a break of 453. If 453 breaks, then I think there's a high probability B is in. That's the other indices don't have that clear of an indicator. Maybe the IWM below 194 would be another sign to go back in within this consolidation, another false breakout. But it's not as solid of an indicator as the SPY is to me. Looking at it, this will be a huge test. If fails this test, I think it will unravel pretty rapidly as the trap buyers panic. So this will be a big test if we come back, and I do think we will back test this breakout of this cup and handle. And I would like to take a long position if I can get that there to try to play for this upside. If I can't get that and we do break down, I'll sidelines it and just kind of watch in awe as this thing unravels, and we'll see. And then of course I think the surprise is it's a 1-2-1-2, and we actually have a bigger parabolic melt up about to happen. Why that would happen, no clue, but the chart's the chart. But that is a possibility, but I don't think that's likely. Keep an eye on the Hang Seng. Very bearish. It's also showing a potential breakdown. We've had this 1 2 1 2 1 2 setup, and this is the line that will break the October low, the first indice to do that. It will be very interesting if that can break, and if we get this 3 to the downside, that could be a sign that B is in the indices overall, and there's a market meltdown coming. And that also would time nicely with oil hitting its meltdown here. But it does look like even if we did break down here in B to 62, we should get another healthy bounce back up. And this is really your capitulation. So this is something to keep in mind if I'm looking at the charts from a swing standpoint, that we're in something like this. So if oil's coming down, that means nat gas. If you're FOMOing in, you need to be careful. It could break down with oil and then bounce again. If we could break this pivot here, that's a good sign that this entire correction's over. So it's a very important pivot. It really rallied nicely here, but it didn't break it, so it's still not all clear if you're bullish nat gas, especially if this is coming in the oil market. Silver, I'm waiting for this dip. I like this dip down in this 3 swing move. I won't FOMO in. And then gold, same thing, like this 3 wave down. I won't FOMO in, even if it does break up higher. The dollar index to me should be rallying. Now it shows a clear 5 waves down, and this to me looks like it's in this rally. If this is a rally, that means the indices should be in a correction or entering it. And smart money is leaving, and that's what I think we saw today underneath the hood of the market a little bit, and that's a good sign that the indices are in this 5th wave, and we will do this correction against this cycle, or perhaps the catastrophic B wave is set, which would be a surprise. Treasury bonds, the 10-year. You could say this is a bear flag for rates. It could try to take another leg lower, and you do have to respect that. That would be bullish for stocks. That would be the melt up scenario. The other scenario is it's a run in flat and it's finished. So we don't know, and this would probably be B as in if it's something like that, run in flat. The other alternative is it's just going to continue to extend in C, and we're going to get a rally. This cycle ends. We get 2. The indices correct, and then we get a bigger pump in the indices later as this impulse finishes and hits this area to finish this massive flat correction. This is probably the preferred view right now for me. The VIX is ready to break out. In fact, I was looking at it earlier, and it looked like to me the VIX did break out of its wedge. We have 5 waves down in the VIX, and we did break out. This is the major downtrend line. We haven't broken out of that. But again, you're seeing the VIX make higher highs, but the indices make higher highs. That is a hidden bearish divergence across the market. You usually see that as the market is reversing. Again, it looks like smart money is quietly building short and put positions underneath the hood of the market, but it hasn't done so enough to show its true intentions. But this should spike, and we are looking for a spike and a sell-off. And this is telling me this cycle could have already ended in the VIX potentially, but not until we probably break this downtrend line can you be confident. So this cycle, this 5th wave, is coming close to an end. Let's go through some of the other stocks that I'm looking at. I posted today about another setup. So if we're going to get a pullback, want to see, are there any other opportunities out there? So I do like GoPro on this wedge breakout here, and this is something I've shown you before. Massive wedge. We do have a wedge breakout. So pullback against this low, 242 could be a very lucrative opportunity from a meme stock buy side scenario. It does look like 5 up here from here, and either we're still in 2 or 2 is over and we're about to get a massive pump up in there. So one or the other. I can't tell you if we're in 2 or not still, but it is a buy against this, so that's a good setup. So some of these meme stocks is probably pumping with the Russell. And then I posted This was set up a while ago, but I do believe now it's finally playing out. And now the other one is FUBO. Is a nice meme stock. And I do like this setup on the inverse head and shoulders breakout that we have here. And again, we're in a two wave of some kind. Either the two ended here in a flat and we'll pull back to 302 for a great entry, potentially retesting the trend line at 285, or it could be even more bullish and we actually are finished at two early, where we finished it here, right there, with the RSI readout right there. So the RSI gives us a clue. Perhaps there's a massive bear trap that was sprung here at 308, and in fact we're about to have a big move higher in FUBO. We'll see, but we need a breakout of this. The target area is somewhere around $6, so it could be a double your money opportunity, potentially even higher, depending on the degree of the correction that this is in. So it's a low risk, high reward setup in my opinion. That's why I like it. The other thing is fundamentally, it's traded at a $1 billion market cap, and it's earning about, if I was looking at these numbers right here, if I can go back onto it here at the earnings, it's pulling in about 300 million a month in quarter in revenue. So it's pulling in over $1 billion in revenue. So it's trading essentially one-time sales for a growth stock. And growth stocks normally trade 15 to 20 times sales, even if they have no earnings. So essentially, this is being priced for bankruptcy. And if you really look at the cash flows, their earning pictures improving. Their losses are improving. I don't, could they be in danger of bankruptcy? There's always a possibility, but that's essentially what the stock's priced in. So if it's only priced one-time sales, then this thing could actually trade, easily. If it could convince investors that it's not going to go bankrupt and it'll have a cash flow, then it could easily do like a 10 bagger, I think, and trade 15 times revenue sales. Go look at all your favorite growth stocks you trade. They always trade more than one-time sales. One-time sales means it's a bankrupt company. Is FUBO going bankrupt? I don't know, but that's what it's priced to down here. And so it could very easily see fundamentally these levels up in this area, this congested area. So imagine if that's the pump that we get in the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months. So that's why I think it's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity, but I can be wrong. So you got to do what's best for you. And there is some risk still to go down to drop to 285. Of course, the ultimate risk is you're still in wave 2, and this is some kind of flat, and we drop all the way back down to $2. But if you could see here, you have 5 waves up, so it doesn't seem like, to me, we're gonna break this. This low is a bottom of some kind. So it does seem like it's starting a new bullish cycle higher. And then if you look at the monthly RSI, we almost have a breakout here of this, pattern here on the monthly, where the RSI is testing the trend line. If we get a breakout, it could be smooth sound all the way up to the oversold on the monthly. This could be a multiple month gainer here. So just keep that in mind. If this can break now. We have seen a left shoulder ahead. We could see a right shoulder pullback. So that's why you still got to respect a correction. But I do believe that's a dip to buy if this happens. If we do stay in 2 and get that correction with the rest of the market, I do think this is a buy area. And so I would say you got to understand, so you don't put your whole stack here. You need to respect that scenario, but know what you're dealing with on the bigger picture. So that's my take on FUBO, and these are the type of opportunities I'm still looking for. I also was keeping my eye on Octa, looking for a breakout on Octa 2 on a 3 of 3 breakout. We'll see if we get another pullback here or not. There's a couple others. So you're seeing a lot of growth stocks hit this. So this is why the market can still extend higher into these areas that I have highlighted. But for right now, we're just looking at this first impulse. Seems like it wants to conclude. and then rip higher, more something like that. Again, the surprise would be it's a 1-2-1-2, and we just melt up like we haven't seen, and then your Uber bull day trader, Twitter day traders, then they eventually say, oh, this is crazy. You know what? Buy puts. The minute you hear buy puts, I'm telling you, from these guys on the internet that just all they do is tell you buy calls, then you got to be really careful, guys, because that is what I'm telling you on stock twits in 27. I mean, I watched these Uber bullish trader, they had tens of thousands of followers, and all they would do is buy this, buy that, buy this, buy space, buy all this shit. And then literally they were like, this is even insane for me. They're like, this is okay. And they were putting it, they were bagging, $150,000 in calls every day. I mean, that's what they were bagging. And they were even saying, okay, this is crazy now. So we get to that point. That's when I think this move is going to end. And boy, will it end. It is going to end. And I do believe it will end in B in that fashion. And you don't want to be up in this B when that happens, especially in some of the triple bull ETFs, because I do believe, like we saw the XIV basically go bankrupt overnight. I do believe some of the triple bull ETFs that you guys are trying in won't open. That will have a volatility event, and they will be shut down. So be careful if you're in those. You need to be really careful if you're in the triple bull ETFs in this type of melt up, because I do believe there'll be a Volmageddon event, and a lot of those triple bull ETFs are going to be blown up, just like the XIV. And you're playing with fire. You're just going to be playing with fire, and that's what it is. But man, the gains are really nice right now. The gains are nice. Enjoy them while it lasts. All right, what's going on with Bitcoin? I still think Bitcoin's in this move down, and why? Great dip buy. Again, this is a great dip buy if this happens. If the market wants to give you this gift, take it, take the dip buy and see what happens. And then the stop loss for me would be this wave 4 low at 34,008. All in this area is kind of accumulation. And then you gotta stop out here. And again, if we stop out here, then it's again support turns resistance, and it could be very bearish for Bitcoin, and you could see Bitcoin unravel very quickly if that happened. There's some people saying short Ether down to $600. Well, if you think Ether is going to $600 or $1,000, then Bitcoin's going below 17,000, guys. I hate to break it to you. So that's pretty bearish for the crypto market. But I do think Ethereum's got a downdraft coming, and then down here we'll have a test of this head and shoulders here that I can draw out for you right here. There'll be a test here. Maybe you get a right shoulder, get a nice trade, a scalp here, but then after that, who knows what could happen. All right, so that's all I've got today. That's my quick update. So have safe trading out there. I'm looking for a correction in wave 5. I'm looking to buy a dip at SPY 460 to 456. But man, I'm telling you, if that 453 breaks, you need to be ready for lights out. And you could see some really panic selling. And then you have to really start entertaining the idea that B is in. B is in. And, and just really, let's think this out a little bit even further, because we finished with no divergence. What if this is a connector and we do a flat like this, right? We do a flat like that, and then we rip higher in 3 back up to here later in early 24, and then B comes around the election and we do something like this. Wouldn't that be something? So that's something, also a scenario. Once we break 453, we need to consider too that perhaps we're not in B, but we're also going to be in this kind of flat rug pull then pump. So a lot of things to think about, but a lot of volatility should enter the market soon. Some will enter in this pullback, but are we going to see a massive meltdown? It's tough to say, but I do think you got to respect this on this back test. Play it along on the back test with a good stop loss, and then see if you get this wave 3 to 420, and then maybe I'll start looking at some shorts again in the market. That's all I got.